Does anybody know what these
Well,
data centers are doing for us? Like, what do we get out of this? Does anybody know? Like, what am I needing right now from the data center at all?
so you can order more stuff
AI
online
pictures.
faster.
Okay. More AI tokens? Like, I don't need AI. Dude. Like, I'm gonna have to give up water to get tokens in it. Okay. Does the flat
No,
Earth
it all
model have
depends where you
infinite
live. There's
water?
no. I don't think there's any.
I think I have a left.
Well, there's plenty of water, plenty of resources. Just certain people hoard it and hold it over our heads and overcharge us.
Can we melt Antarctica? The was it the Arctic wall? Whoever's a flat earther, somebody tell me. We can melt the glacial wall. We can still have water. Keep my Google Glass.
New York's never flooded in 200 years, so I mean, I don't think sea level's rising.
It's true.
Imagine
The
if, like,
Statue of Liberty is.
Oh
I was
yeah.
gonna say, imagine if the continents that we know, the known world that Christopher Columbus helped to find, right? The world that we know of. Imagine if that's just like a little tiny part of it, and it is just this extended plane that goes off in every direction for as far as you could ever imagine, and there's just like so much more, and they know about it, and we're kind of like in a cage. We're like in like some type of a compound. Imagine if there's more out there. Don't worry about what the sun does. Don't worry about what the sky does. Just just let that let that be how it is. But just imagine that if you just kept on going in a straight line, you could find so many more continents and so many more like species and beings and races and different types of lands. I think that's what's out there. That's what they know about. Yeah, that's where the aliens are.
Aliens are definitely on the agenda. That's all.
Oh, definitely, atmosphere has a part in it, but I think it's both. I think it's atmosphere and perspective.
Yep.
Because even if it was a vacuum, it would still have that bottoming out effect as soon as it went past the, that horizon limit field of view, whatever you want to call it.
You mean even on no Atmo day, you probably wouldn't be able to see New York from Paris?
Nah.
I agree. You probably wouldn't, because it's going to be way too small to see at whatever 5,000 kilometers or whatever distance it is. You're not going to see a 2,000-foot high World Trade Center.
Yeah. I think even if you had like a super duper telescope that was, you still, because there'd be that limit. There's always that limit of you can zoom in as much as you want, but you're going to start hitting that limit where it would be like zooming in on your computer screen. Like you can zoom in on your computer screen as much as you want, but like, it's not going to, you'll still hit like a boundary. Like the perspective boundary.
Yeah, I got a guy here. Here's a screenshot. It says, if the Earth were flat, we could see forever with enough zoom. Another intellectual titan.
Just love these like bold claims. Just like never tested it, never done anything. They just think in their head, and somehow that's some like scientific fact.
Yeah, he is a subjective truth believing Marxist. So, I mean, he's not even 100% sure that he's a man. So that's another issue.
Fucking hell.
Anytime you talk to a Glober, just ask him, "Are you 100% sure you're a man?" And then if they say 100%, then well, okay, well we can know things 100%, and then they'll say, "Oh no, 99.9% I'm a man." I've got a clip of a guy saying he's only 85% sure he's a man.
Oh my god, it's just
So these are
insanity.
the warriors we battle. The glob warriors.
I like the other one. He's like, "Are you on Discord right now?" I'm 99% on. How do you know? Like, oh my god, the mental gymnastics come out.
Oh yeah, we call them 99 percenters, or in the other case, it's an 85 percenter. And depending on what Glober you talk to, he might be 70%, 98%. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah. At that point, it's just I don't know. I used to engage into it a bit, but now I just realize there's no point. Yep.
Well, yeah, like, is there a point in talking to a Glober, like, say, like a hardcore anti-flat earther, one-on-one in a private VC? It's just like there's no like you're never gonna change any minds. Nothing's gonna change. It's just pretty much like a waste of time. It is good practice. There's
I was gonna
that
say
like
that.
practice talk, practice debating, whatever. Yeah, it is good practice, but that's about it.
Yeah. I get it like strengthens your explanations and kind of
Yep.
how you explain things, I guess. But which is good. So there's always like a positive out of it. But
Yeah. If they mention something, then you Google it and you ask AI, then you're like, oh shit, well they can't even, like there's another. You just by me spending this 5 minutes with you strengthen my debate, strengthen my argument because I know what questions to ask now.
True. I guess like when we was started looking at like, we see too far and then they come along and, refraction and all that, which is good because, I never really looked at refraction really in depth. So
Yeah, I mean, that's just depends if you believe in the two mediums or if you believe air can refract, has a refractive index. But I mean, when I see my car 6 feet away, how much refraction is there? And when I see my car, 1 kilometer away, how much refraction is there?
I don't think there's that much. So even at like long distances, it's like, yeah, it's a bit blurry, but I don't think we can. It's refracting like 50 to
Like,
100 foot around the curve. Like,
yeah, they say refraction, which means you can see around the curve, you can see around the corner, but I can see a light 10 feet high, 7 miles away on a perfectly flat highway. And that's supposed to be 32 feet of curvature. 32-foot hill is supposed to be blocking that light. But I see that I see the light the whole 7 mile drive. Night, winter, summer, cold, hot. I mean, yeah, depending if there's fog, I won't see it, or rain maybe, but But in reality, humans cannot see around corners. And then in the glob model, in my situation, it's a 32-foot hill that's supposed to be blocking that 10-foot light. Yet I see the light the whole time.
Yeah, I think that there's enough we see too far to like. It's just, I don't know. It's just hard to go against, really.
Yeah, and that's why there's flat earthers. They don't deny what they see, but yeah, there's a reason there's globers. There's a reason there's flats. I mean, it's
Yeah. And I think the next step is to like really start trying to understand, you know, what we're in. Where I feel like it is like this two-pole system, like this kind of toroidal field. I don't know. It's like, you know, just start trying to figure things out.
yeah, it's difficult as the average human because you're usually stuck locally. And there probably is a few flat Earth millionaires, but I mean, are they going to risk their money and put their name out there doing flat Earth proofs and then risk their company?
Yeah.
There is no flat Earth proof.
I'd like to see more on like the maps and stuff, and kind of that trying to start figuring out like the land masses. And, yeah, I don't know. Like Southern Star rotation still puzzles me. I know there's been explanations and perspective and all that, which, but I don't know, there's a few little unanswered questions.
I'd say, like I said, a lot of it you have to do yourself, and some of it you can't do yourself. So, I mean, you could watch 20 videos on it and believe it, but I mean,
Well, I personally filmed it. I went out there and time lapsed the southern rotation, so it's definitely a thing. So, but you know, I'm still like, if you know the flat Earth model, you know, when south points every direction outwards, you know, still that question is like, how am I seeing the southern star rotation, and then some dude in Africa sees it?
yeah, but like, see, like the star trails, they like spin into the Earth, and in reality, the stars are rotating east to west. So
That's a
Yeah,
big problem for flat Earth.
but when I'm doing the time lapse of the southern star rotation, yeah, they spin east to west, but that's like above the circle, you know. Then below the circle, then it's going west to east to make the full circle. Does that make sense? So yeah, the top half of the circle's east
not
to
even
west,
in
but then the bottom half west to east.
the globe model, it's always east to west, but
I guess clockwise, it's spinning clockwise. I like that kind of description.
my disclaimer is I'm a biblical flat earther firmament, so I mean, for me, it's pretty much set in stone. It's set in firmament.
Definitely, yeah. I guess I'm just stuck at where it's like, how do I see it here? Then some dude in Africa sees it, like because it's not moving like the center point of what was it, like Sigma Octus or something. It's not like skimming across. Sorry.
Yeah, it's Sigma
Sorry.
Octantis, and I don't even believe you can see Sigma Octantis. It's usually they see the Southern Cross rotating, but
Well, either way, the center point, it's not moving across the sky. The center, it's just staying in one spot. If the center point was moving across the sky, then that would kind of make sense how the dude in Africa would see it, because it's like moving towards him, but it's not. It's just standing still. So kind of, which leads me to believe like maybe there's like a rainbow effect happening. When like you move towards the rainbow and it moves when you move.
yeah, myself, I live close to under Polaris, so I don't get the southern view. So
Yeah.
it's all depends where you live and what observations you can make, and so
But I guess the north makes sense because the north is in the center, and that makes sense. But the south, if it's on the, like, what I'm trying to say.
oh, I've heard everything, but as I said, I believe there's a firmament, so pretty much whatever anybody claims, it's got to work with the firmament, and if not, then I don't think their claims are correct.
Are you using AE map or the dual pole map right now nowadays?
I think I'm just thinking of the AE map.
Yeah, it'd be just the
But
regular AE map or dome firmament. But all maps are wrong, so I mean, it's just AE map is just a representation.
Yeah, but after like Antarctica 24-hour sun, so it's pretty much very difficult to hold AE map.
I wasn't convinced.
You don't believe like there is 24-hour sun in Antarctica?
I never saw a 24/7 live stream.
Why?
I don't know. That is like hard for me though, because like there should be like heaps of evidence. Why is it just these bunch of people went down there? And I'm not saying it's true or not, but I just like to see more footage of it, I guess. Because it's like this one very sus group went down there and did it, and now we have to believe that.
Oh yeah, let's say they give 60 billion or 8 billion to Israel, they give 30 billion to NASA, they give money to SpaceX, they give money to this military, yet they can't put a camera in the south. Couple cameras 24/7.
It's just been weird because the first ones we did get, the clouds were the same at 24 hours later. Like that's been all documented. So it's just, I don't know. There's just all this weird stuff with the Antarctica 24/7.
And it also goes back to, can I verify it myself, or do I just have to trust some YouTubers and some Discord guys? As a flat earther, it should be observable, measurable, repeatable as the foundation. and not trusting authority and not trusting random people on YouTube.
And different locations. I want to see it in, go all around Antarctica. Is it the same? Maybe you're getting like 20 hours, 24 hours in one spot, and then maybe 20 hours in another spot. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, either way, it doesn't change the physics of water, and water at rest seeks and finds its level. So, I mean,
True.
but and so we can verify those things, but then there's this speculation about the South that we can't verify. So, I mean, I put it in the speculation pile, or like I said, to me, I have the firmament and whatever works in the biblical cosmology, and that's my model.
I think it just would be just nice to know, it's just another piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, for me, it's simple. In the firmament, biblical cosmology, it doesn't exist.
But the 24-hour Antarctica sun doesn't exist in the biblical sense.
Yeah, there is no in the biblical firmament. There is no 24-hour sun in the south.
What does it say about the north then? Does it say anything?
In the north, there's a 24 Arctic. Well, it doesn't say, but I've seen it myself. I've seen a 24-hour sun in the north myself, but I mean that's just.
I mean,
millions of
it doesn't talk about the 24-hour sun in the north either.
Oh no, it doesn't. I agree. The difference
I get
is millions and millions of people have verified northern 24-hour sun.
But Enoch talks about it. Or it talks about the sun, the circuit of the sun. But why, you don't think there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica? You don't believe in TFE?
Have a point that did next stop.
No, for me, it's not possible in the biblical cosmology.
I guess it's just hard. Like, it's like a very sus group. And
what do you mean, sus group?
I know, a bunch of like anti-flat earth. I don't know. It could be all like a bunch of shills. Who knows? Like, it'd just be nice to get more backup evidence. Different people, different things.
Well, I think at this point there's like, I want to say maybe 20 or 30 different videos of a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Like if you just added up all the different ones, like some of the ones that came out in like 2019, 2020, 2021. I think if you add them all up. And then with the Union Glacier, yeah, those guys are, as far as I know, the only other 24-hour sun footage is that one that I had found when I was searching before they went. So there is one other 24-hour sun footage from Union Glacier. And then there's like other cuts of like the sun moving in the south and then their footage. So yeah, Union Glacier, there's only a handful. But some of the other sites, like there's several from like McMurdo and the other locations.
So Geo, like you're more aligned towards the dual pole map right now?
Not necessarily. No, not necessarily. Not that map. Just because I haven't mapped the Earth, so not necessarily like those exact projections. But,
so is there anyone like who is really working good on that map? I don't find anyone.
Yeah, there's a few.
So do you think like it will give a better model than AE map in a few months or something? Is there anyone? Because if the flat earthers start using another dual pole map, then I think flat earth can grow again at that. Otherwise, the debate will be again on the same thing, like the Antarctica 24-hour sun.
Yeah, I mean, I think the sky seems to function like a toroid. The field lines of the stars seem to match this toroidal geometry. So, and toroids, like you can have like a double toroid. And then toroids also have like a spherical geometry built into them. So, I mean, for the sky to have that makes a lot of sense. And then that would be like the celestial sphere the ancients talked about. And then the ground would be a plane of existence. So yeah, I mean, it does. You have like the two rotations and then the straight line at the equator. And then the circuit of the sun in the north and the south, throughout the moon does it once a month. The sun does it once a year.
Okay.
Just from what we observe, just like the empirical observation. So,
I mean, there are two celestial spheres, right? Two celestial spheres, right? One over north and one over south.
Yeah, there's like two rotations that seem to flow in like the way like an electric field, like the electric field lines of an electric field circuit. So I mean, that's like I'm just saying some of this like just in terms of what we might even say is like the empirical observation of it. I mean, I guess everyone sees through their own eyes, but it is pretty consistent.
Yeah, but then
the two rotations.
But then those celestial spheres will not be like shaped like a dome, because if it's shaped like a dome, then it should hit the Earth on the equator, right? And we can go at the equator. So like you're saying, like those rotations are like straight, means flat on the sky, or it's like hemispherical? How it's like that?
I'm not quite sure what it was hard. Your mic was like a little bit hard for me to hear what you were saying.
Means those rotations are like flat on the over the sky, or it's like hemispherical or something?
Yeah, I think I see what you mean. Well, I mean, to replicate the sky like in a planetarium, you have to have like a hemisphere to replicate the sky from any one position, from any latitude, longitude, which is all we ever really see is just like a hemispherical region of the sky. Usually like, yeah, it's about roughly half of the sky, at any time. But it seems like, yeah, it would have to be like a continuous toroid though, because it wouldn't be able to split apart anywhere. Cause like I was saying earlier, like I've been to Hawaii, I've been to Europe, I've been to the United States, like just those three, you're seeing the whole sky at some point, because you see half of it at any one time. I mean, granted,
like if it is like, so if there are like physical hemispheres, then they should like touch the Earth on the equator.
I mean, I think you could still have potentially like, this is obviously in the realm of speculation. I mean, I haven't been up there, but I mean, there's other like, like spiritual experiences or other ways to maybe glean some insight, because I know NASA claims they're going up there and, doing stuff, but I don't think any human can really reach the celestials. So it's always going to be somewhat of just something we can observe. But I mean, there could be a way like that you could have still like one, like the way the ancients always showed like one hemisphere, massive hemisphere for the upper part of the world, which is like the heavens above and all that, the quintessence, the ether going up, the celestials. Then you have the plane of the earth would be like at the center of the sphere, basically on the inside, like going across like a plane. And then underneath you would have potentially like the whole bottom, a whole hemispherical bottom of the realm. And then you get like the cosmic egg kind of idea. But either way, like even just going from the land upwards, if you did have one huge hemisphere dome, I mean, some people might even think an infinite plane or whatever, but if we're just talking about one hemisphere dome, you could have one hemisphere dome with these two poles, like a toroidal field that like you're seeing the inside of a very complex, like spherical geometric structure of what the sky is. Like it has spherical geometry. I'm not saying it is a sphere. They turn it into one in their globe model, but But that could still all be within one hemispherical region that you're just seeing like different
That
portions.
means
of that.
those celestial spheres are physical, right? So if they are physical and there are like upwards, then like assuming the distances and these things might be so difficult, right? Like, if they, because we have to consider everything physical, of course, and so physical, then we have to also know the distance. Otherwise, without knowing the distance, how can even a model will work?
Well, I mean, I think Dyslow the other day was saying the idea that like the sky is just like the end of physicality. It's kind of an interesting way to think of it. That like, is there an actual physical barrier, or is there maybe the physical world, maybe superfluid something, and then it just goes to non-physicality? So I mean, that's like a deep question, like what the shape of the actual sky is, because yeah, it doesn't seem like it's as simple as just like two hemispheres, northern rotation, southern. It doesn't seem like it's that simple. It also doesn't seem like it's simple in terms of like that it's just two flat disks of like rotating, concentric circles. Like that doesn't seem to necessarily allow for it either. It seems to have more of like it's like a three-dimensional hemispherical field of view that seems to like, even the way like the Bible and other like ancient texts talk about it having like a crystalline structure and
Uh-huh.
like glass and reflective and having some of those like crystalline natures to it. Even like the word celestial, like a celestial and crystalline, there's like overlap there with luminosity. So yeah, I mean, it might be beyond the physical world as we know it, but it appears to us, or like, we observe it in this way, almost like an apparition. That's not really quite the right word, but just like a manifestation of light that we can't necessarily go and reach, but we can just observe this like toroidal, spherical, electrical kind of motion that it makes.
But the observations of the light or electrics and these all things are like physical, right? Physical part of the physical. It's designed and existing in a way, so like it's like unfigureoutable, deceptive also, right? That's why I was like saying like the sky is also like a deliberate deception. Like it's like designed in a way like I don't think like there any way to reach up. What do you think? Like if someone put all the money, still he can't go straight up, right? Rocket will not work. And that's why they have orbits and they just drop the rocket in the ocean and then start doing their CGI. It's like the Globers and NASA, they also don't know like what they are doing. It's just they are just earning money by lying. Yeah. So do you think like a rocket can go up high and hit and go to those places where these planets and the skies, their moons? With it, when we are
No.
seeing them, then it's physical. Do you think like there is no way, right, to reach that in
No.
today's
How
technology?
how can you verify that? All we were doing is seeing Hollywood NASA footage and CGI that we can't verify.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the
From
rockets that you verify,
from
like the
known
flying
from
rockets and all.
known satanic liars, deceivers, and we're gonna trust them?
Yeah,
Something we can't observe and repeat ourselves? We're gonna trust Operation Paperclip and NASA employees, Freemasons?
yeah. Means there is no technology even in today's time that can go up high, right? Even where they claim like there's no technology that even can claim like we can go 1,000 miles up high directly, right?
No, they claim it, but we can't. I can't do it. There's
But
safety
they don't even
regulations.
claim.
I can't
I
launch.
don't think so. Like they don't even claim like they are going straight up. They just use that orbit theory, and I think they just put the rocket in the ocean Pacific or somewhere, and then they use their Newton's orbital mechanics, and then start doing whatever they want to do. I
Well,
think there are
well,
orbits,
yeah,
like orbits are
the
existing,
straightest,
like
the straightest
satellite
path,
orbits.
shortest distance is a straight path. Yet, oh, we're going to launch and we're going to orbit around the Earth 3 times, and then we're going to orbit the moon in a figure eight instead of going straight there. It
Yeah,
makes
so like
no sense.
I don't know about the orbits, but I think Witsit was trying to do a stream about the orbits. I have not seen them. He was doing stream about like how the satellites are in the orbit or something.
Yeah, okay, say Cape Canaveral or wherever they launch this rocket and the moon's right above. I mean, okay, why wouldn't they launch the rocket right at the moon instead of going in a curved path away?
Yeah.
Like, the moon is above you, you go launch the rocket, you launch the rocket up. Why do
Yeah.
you need to curve away? Like, why do you need to curve down in a parabolic?
Yeah, they say like it will take less fuel.
Yeah, counterintuitive. Like, if you're going to the thing, you take the straight path.
No, they using like the orbit, right? So they are just going faster towards one direction. So I think they just say that, but yeah, that's true. They should go straight, but I don't know why they do that.
Well, I challenge. Launch your
I think they
rocket
say
from
I
Cape
think they say
Canaveral.
like
The
that.
moon is right above Florida. Go straight up to the moon. Go straight up.
Like
The moon's right above
maybe
you, Cape
they say,
Canaveral, Florida. Go straight up.
yeah, because they say like if you're going straight up, right? So you're going like opposite direction of the gravity of the Earth. So you have to put so much force. But when you are going like circling over the Earth, then you are not going opposite of the Earth. You are circling with the Earth, so you need less fuel, and then eventually you will uh, increase your orbit. I think they might have answer like that. Like if we just go
Yeah. So
directly
we'll
towards
do
the Earth,
three.
then we are going against the gravity
We'll
of
go
the Earth.
three.
Then we have to
We'll
burn
do
a lot
three
of
laps
fuel.
around the Earth. 3 laps around Earth, and then we'll go to the moon instead of going straight there.
Yeah, because the laps are on around the Earth, right? So they are not burning that much fuel because they are not going against the gravity of the Earth, according to them, I guess. Because if you're going straight up, right? So then you have to go against the gravity of the Earth. But if you're going like a plane is flying, okay, then plane have don't ha- is not fighting directly with the gravity. I guess it might be like that. I don't know what their explanation. I think like there is also a video available on YouTube where a rocket is going straight up, and it was uh it was I think released by NASA, and they are like observing a rocket from space, one of their satellites. They are observing a rocket launching from the Earth and going straight up in the sky. I've seen that. It looks so funny and like fake.
Yeah, you can launch rockets off Earth, so you can launch items off of flat Earth. You can fly planes off of flat Earth. So I'm showing me a video of a rocket. Like people don't become flat earthers because they see a fake rocket launch. It's usually long distance observations and fluid statics and distrust in government and all the other things that come along with flat Earth. So
I think they go as high as 100 kilometers. I think 100 or 200 kilometers. Maybe 200 miles also.
yeah, it's hard to verify. Neil deGrasse Tyson says you can't see curvature at 63 miles up. So I don't know. It's just pretty much videos that we can't do and we can't verify ourselves. So it's
But Dude Perfect went to space and saw the curve.
you have to see which one that was. Was that Wumpus or the cheesecake they sent up or the garlic bread? The garlic bread saw the curve.
They went on that Blue Origin one. Those Dude Perfect guys. They said they saw the curve. Remember that guy was like, his name was Kobe. And he was like, I saw the curve.
I wonder how high they went up. 63 miles.
Here's the video. I just found it. Look at look at that thumbnail. Look at all that curve. That's like pretty gloppy looking in that thumbnail.
That looks like a tiny Earth in that thumbnail. I don't think you'd be able to. We have to get Neil deGrasse on the case. Neil deGrasse versus Dude Perfect. I have to check on YouTube here.
Well, that thumbnail contradicts. I'm actually in the video. I'm looking at the video right now, and here I'm gonna I'm gonna grab this screenshot.
Yeah, I don't think
Right.
you'd see that much curve at altitude.
See
Even
that
in their
thumbnail?
model.
I know. See that thumbnail? Well, how much curvature there is, and then in this one I just posted, that's just a random screenshot from the video, and look at how it pretty much just looks flat out the.
This is bad. Yeah, if you like the two pictures are in the same on my phone, and it makes no sense how the one's curved and the one's flat.
Here's this one. Check this one out. This one looks really flat. Check out this. I'm just going through and grabbing screenshots from it. Look at that. Almost looks concave. But that one looks
Yep.
very flat.
Yeah, it's either obviously fisheye lens or complete editing.
I got another
It's
one.
curved. It's flat. curve is flat, and then what?
Yeah, that thumbnail is just a complete deception, basically, just like CGI. They just made that up to make it look all dramatic. But then look at this one. I mean, maybe that does look a little bit curved, but it's also like the window. It's near the top of the window. But still, that's nowhere near the curvature from that thumbnail. That looks like pretty much like the bomb.
Yeah, I guess they could just plausibly claim that, okay, it's just a thumbnail and they're just having a little bit of fun over exaggerating it, and then look at the playful face he's got. So I mean, that's the only thing I could give him. But it's even in that situation, you should never do that. This is a serious subject, and you should never be taking the creative liberty to like exaggerate the curve and exaggerate his expression.
Yeah, well, I mean, but that's if that's what they're kind of selling it, that's what it should look like. And then in the actual video, doesn't look like that at all. I just skimming through this video. The only shots that look like a globe are these like this like just random shots with like no fourth wall. There's like two of them in here, where it just looks extremely globby, but you can't even. It doesn't even seem like that's taken from inside the capsule. Like these other shots are just like random shots. They almost look like the ISS. Whereas every actual shot of them in there, there's like not the curvature that would be there for a sphere.
Yeah, you guys probably dissected it live. This is 3 years, 4 years, I'm sure, when it came out. So, how do you defend that? It's sort of like when they do a fisheye lens per curve, or when they take off the Earth, and then it's the same curve when they're as high up as they go. But yeah.
Oh my god, dude! He asks him. He says, "Is Earth flat?" And the guy, oh my gosh, he says, "Is the Earth flat?" And the guy says, "Not flat. I can confirm it's round. We have an astronaut in our midst." That's what it says. This is like just the.
I think they did that with the Artemis too. There was an interview, or he's like, "It's definitely not flat. There's no Earth. It's not flat. It can't be flat." It's just like it's almost like when AI throws it in there in an unrelated topic, and it's like, "Why did you mention flat Earth? Why are you doing damage control?"
I'm gonna post the screenshots that have the. That's when he says, "Is the Earth flat?" I'm just gonna take screenshot with the subtitle. And then he says here, he says, "Is the Earth flat?" And then the court. This is like, why would they even have that in this? You know what I mean? Like, it's just such programming. And then he says, "Not flat. I can confirm it's round."
Not flat. It's almost like an admission of guilt, where like it'd be better if you didn't mention it. Like why? I can't. Like I don't know. It could be in the psychopathic mind where it's like somehow they decided, let's say it's not flat. Let's have a guy ask him about flat Earth and say it's not flat. Like why? Like, why does it need to come up?
Yeah, it's like near the end of this video after he landed, his other dude perfect friends or whatever are. It's like the script. Like, is the Earth flat? This whole thing seemed like it was kind of a anti-flat Earth like agenda thing because they get a lot of views. You know, these guys. This
Yeah,
channel.
yeah. They do this to get the views. Like Mr. Beast also did that. So they was
He went to
using that
Antarctica.
same.
Didn't Mr. Beast go to Antarctica?
Yeah, he got to Antarctica. Yeah. So he was mocking flat Earth. So like they use these things to get the attention of flat earthers and all.
Yep. Well, kind of to do damage control to the masses, like, oh look, you can go to Antarctica. Here's Mr. Beast, like playing with his friends in the ice. Oh, you can go to space. Look at these dude perfect guys. These guys get
Yeah.
millions and millions of views. Oh, is the
And
Earth
of
flat?
course,
Nope, it's not flat. I can confirm it's wrong.
of course,
Like,
they are not even crossing the Kármán line like these dude perfect. I think they go only how many miles they go at that altitude? What altitude they reach? Maybe 20-30 miles.
I mean, it claims they get about 66 miles.
Oh, it's near Kármán line. Right. Okay. 66 miles.
Yeah, that's what they claim
666.
for Blue Origin. 666. Yeah.
Yeah. That also shows there is dishonesty. Like they are like using a digit 666 and showing like we are deceiving you. Gio, you saw the video, like the link I have posted. Like it's like a rocket filmed by ISS that's going straight up. You saw that before? Like it's very funny. Like I've seen that many times.
I don't know if I did see it. I'm trying to scroll back. Is it in the chat?
Yeah, it's in the chat just for a few minutes back.
I've got a question. No one, please don't be offended when I ask it. But my question is, yeah, in the flat Earth Discord communities, is there a bias towards people being from the Bible Belt by any chance?
Not really.
Okay. So you
Like
think it's
I'm a flat earther, but I'm not from Bible background, and I'm from India, and it's not because of religion. It's because of I
yeah.
think that Earth is not a globe and should be flat. Even
Okay.
I'm not
What?
religious, but it's like
Yeah.
I understand like it should be flat, not globe.
Okay. When I say Bible Belt, I'm talking about a specific region in the world. It's like, for example, from the southern states, like Texas, sort of that sort.
No, it's not. Like all over the world, you will find out flat earthers.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and if you look into history, then all the civilizations in the past, whether it's from east, west, or wherever, it was flat earth civilization. And even the religions, Eastern and Western, Middle Easterns, all are flat earth religions. So there is nothing like that. Yeah, it's your new religion that there's a globe.
Oh, I don't think it's a religion. I think it's a consensus.
No, because you believe so.
That's a religion.
No, we've got a consensus. I'm going to trust the consensus. Sorry.
So it's appeal to authority. So would you like to trust the mainstream, or you want to question the mainstream?
No, I trust the mainstream in this regard.
You
I
trust the
trust them.
mainstream.
I do.
But why do you trust the mainstream? Do you think like people are so smart so they will figure out the truth?
No, because they just wouldn't lie. It's too much effort to lie like this. It's so unreasonable.
But
I'm
what if
sorry,
they don't
it's
even know
silly.
the but what if they don't even know the truth? I'm not saying that they know the earth is flat. It's just they think the earth is a globe.
Right. And I'm sure there are Illuminati lizards that are eating babies as well.
Do you have any proof for that?
I was being sarcastic. I'm just showing you your line of reasoning. It's
No,
conspiratorial
I'm just
thinking.
saying. I'm not talking directly about the conspiracy. Yeah, there are people, you look into the real world, and there are people who do conspiracies to earn money, recognition, and power. Even politicians, don't they lie to get the money? Big government bodies and private companies, they lie. So that is also conspiracy, right? They are conspiring against you to earn money, power, right? And they use the mainstream model always. So now the burden is on you because you are apparently claiming that the earth is a globe. So the burden is over you to prove the earth is a globe. So what the proof do you have other than appealing to authority?
No, I don't have any proof. I just trust them. I don't think about it.
Also, the trust is not sufficient for us. It's our enemy. We don't just trust other people. If you are a truth seeker, then you should not just blindly trust. But if you are a mainstream person, then you're a good person for them. They can rule over you. They can deceive you. They need more people like you. They will definitely reward you for that.
Yeah, people who don't question anything. See, that is how they do it, is because people don't ask questions. They just blindly trust that what they're being told is the truth.
Yeah, it's true. Exactly.
And I mean, all of us used to do that before we started thinking for ourselves. Oh, hey, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. Oh, how did they come to this conclusion? Oh, let me think about it. And then when you go and actually look, you find, oh, what they told me is a load of garbage.
Yeah. All of us, like when we was a kid, most of us was blindly believing. There are very few people who are critically thinkers from the childhood. Very few.
Yeah, like how many people that believe the globe Earth? How many of them even know what the curvature rate is, and how many of them have gone out to the world to verify it?
No one.
I don't know the curvature rate. All I know is that it's a curve, and I trust my rulers. That's it.
Yeah, you see, so you didn't even verify it. Do you know what they claim the radius to be?
What do you say? The claim to right? Say it again.
No, the radius of the
No, I
globe.
asked the radius.
Oh,
Do you know how they
well,
actually get the curve right? Like, do you know what they claim the radius to
I,
be?
I,
And you
I
probably
don't.
won't know because no,
No.
you won't know because you've never looked into it. You just blindly believe what you're told. That's the point.
Right. Right. Exactly. You're right. I do. I do trust them blindly in this regard because they're smarter than
Yeah,
me.
well, I
They
mean
do it for a
that's
living,
going to be to
and so I
your
trust them.
detriment. That's fine if you do. It's just that it's detrimental for you.
I mean, when you go on a plane and you're going to another country, do you have to know the craft of how to fly an airplane? No, you don't. You trust the pilot because they've been trained in their craft. Why don't you apply the same reasoning over here? Are you never going to go on a plane on a
because
holiday?
because
You don't know how to
both
fly a plane.
things
You're
both
trusting
things are
the pilot.
because both things are not same.
No, they are. You're
Why we
trusting the
have to apply
pilot
the same rule?
blindly. No, you're
No,
trusting the pilot blindly. I'm sorry.
no, trusting
You're
the
appealing
pilot
to
and
authority.
trusting. No, it's not like that. You can't just mix two different examples. I don't give examples to tell anything. That's why, because it's not right to use that kind of example.
Do you know how to drive a bus? You probably don't have a bus driver's license. Do you trust the bus driver? Yes, you do. Same thing with pilot. Same thing
That's
with
not the same.
doctors.
The whether the guy is flying over a globe or whether he's flying over a flat earth, that's an action that the guy is doing. It's different from what they when they're telling you the thing you're standing on is a particular thing because it leads to you being controlled in other ways. You just flying in a plane doesn't mean they can actually control you.
No, that's not what I mean. So when you go on a plane, right, the pilot, they know how to fly a plane, and you're trusting them blindly that they're not going to crash the plane because they were trained in their profession, right? So you
Okay, wait.
trust
Okay,
the pilot
I'll
blindly.
answer. I'll
That's
answer
what
it.
I
I'll
mean,
answer it.
Sophia.
Wait,
Right?
I'll
That's what
answer
I
it. So
mean.
imagine, okay, so imagine like because there are millions of flights happened in the past and with the success rate of more than 99%. Imagine that no plane has ever flied in the sky. Okay, and today someone come up with a plane and he invented a plane and he is the pilot and he will claim you that hey, I can take you to England in 5 hours from America. Just this plane will definitely fly. Would you like to sit in that plane with him? Because of course he is the pilot. He have the same plane that he is flying, but you will not trust him. Why? Because you didn't have past data. But in today's time, we are trusting the pilots because it's happening all over the world every day. People are using that. But if it's not happened a single time in the past, no one has ever flying, then you will definitely question. You will never trust that person. You will say, no, I will not sit in this plane, even if you give me $1 million, because of course it's a risky. But now you will pay because you know it's not risky. There is a right. You're getting the point.
Okay. I sort of understand. Okay. So the pilot, they've got a proven history of flying a plane, and therefore you can trust them. Okay. While the scientists, they've got a proven history of, studying things deeply and analytically. And so I trust them
Okay.
as well when they tell me the Earth is
No, what
a globe.
history you are talking about? Specifically, say you are just comparing the pilots and the planes with the globe Earth.
NASA
Is not
engineers,
comparable.
scientists, physicists, they all tell me unanimously that the Earth is a globe, and I trust their history.
What do you think about virologists?
A
Have you ever looked
virologist, what
into
about?
yeah, have you ever looked into virology? What do you think about those scientists, about what they tell you?
Um, uh, random question. Yeah, I trust them. They study their craft. I value their opinions on this
Okay, and you think
subject.
everything that the mainstream health tells you, you think that's gospel truth, right?
Um, this is a bit more nuanced. I think you're going to go
No,
into
it's not
vaccines,
really,
aren't you?
because it's about just trusting someone blindly. So it's not,
Vaccines are a
it's
beautiful
exactly the
thing.
same.
Vaccines are stunningly beautiful. I love
Yeah,
vaccines.
that just means you have never looked into it.
Right. I've got a question for you, Sophia. All right. Okay. Let's say you're going on holiday in India. All right. And you get bitten by what looks like a rabid dog. Are you going to get the rabies vaccine? Yes or no?
Definitely not. Nope.
Fucking retard. Sorry for my French.
Yeah, I was
Rabies
bitten.
is the
I've been bitten
nastiest
by
way
a
to
dog,
die.
and I haven't gotten the thing. Yeah, there is no such thing.
No. So you think rabies doesn't exist? Are you an idiot?
You can call me an idiot, but I would ask you for the proof.
Oh my god.
Because
Okay,
if you go
right.
and look at
I
what the
know another
CDC
flathead
tells
that's
us
like you.
about,
Oh my god.
yeah, you can
Retard.
look into Tom Cowan. I mean, they've actually gone through the studies that the quote unquote authorities use to perpetuate these things. You should really look up like how they're screwing with you.
No. You absolutely want to get a rabies vaccine if you've been bitten by a rabid dog. Please don't listen to this
No,
woman.
you don't.
Yeah. This is a crazy house.
Yeah, I ask you a question. How many sex are there? Like male and female. Other than that, like because I only know two,
My
male and
pronouns are
female.
they, them. So you can
Okay, so
have
like I'm
multiple.
You
asking you,
see,
how
you're
many
already
sex
off.
are there? Male, female, and what's the third one or the fourth one? Tell me.
Oh, well, they can be multiple, I think. It's down to your own self-identification.
Okay, so name my only one after male and female because I'm named two
They,
and there is
them.
nothing else other than two.
You've got they, them. That's me.
What's there and them? I don't understand. Can you explain?
It's basically gender neutrality. You don't identify with either one. So you're agnostic. That's it.
Yeah,
So
you're
if I
reinventing the English
identify
language.
Sorry,
myself,
Zion. Come again. Zion
Are
was
you
talking.
reinventing the English language?
Why would I be... No. Why would I be doing that?
You refer to yourself as they them.
Right?
You and who else? That's plural, dude.
are you a man or a woman? I'm asking you. Because
They,
there is
them.
only two options. So
So my
what's that?
biological sex is male.
What's the definition of they and them? Oh, your biological sex is male, so you are a male.
You can call me that. I don't get offended if you give me
No,
wrong
I will
pronouns,
call
by
you
the way.
what
I'm
the
not
truth
that type
is.
of
The
people.
truth is you are a male.
You can
The
call me
truth is you are a
anything
male
like
because
that.
you have
Yeah.
male sperms and you can make a
Right.
girl pregnant. You can't get pregnant, okay? There's no way you
Okay.
can get pregnant and begot a child. So you are a male because you can
Okay.
make a girl pregnant if you want, right? If the girl wants, right? But there is no
Okay.
possibility that you can get pregnant. And so that's the definition. So what's your definition of they and them?
I haven't thought about it that much. Can we
Oh,
just
so
change the
you
topic?
you have not talked about. So you are wrong about
I'm
that.
gender
Okay.
neutral. Yeah,
He's
I
not.
don't
He's
want to
not.
talk
He's not
about it.
interested in getting pregnant. Interested in getting guys pregnant.
Okay, means you think like whatever someone believes he should be considered that.
So just
What if what if
Whatever.
what if what if what if someone consider himself a chicken, then should other people kill him like a chicken and eat him?
I don't get into these sorts of debates, I'm afraid.
But you're
I'm not
saying like if
interested. I
someone
don't
wanna
think that
consider
it's thoroughly
something, then he
boring
should
to me.
be treated as that. Means you are going against his will because okay, so if someone consider himself as a female, okay, but he is a male, then should he considered as a female or not?
I don't want to talk about this. I've
He
said it
already
before.
answered
Why?
that question.
Engage. It's boring, dude. I
Why
came here
you
to talk about the flat earth. I don't want to talk about gender
no,
stuff.
what why can't you answer directly? You
He
can
already
Because I
say
answered that,
don't
bro.
think
He says
about
they can
yourself.
identify whatever they. Yeah,
All
you
right,
can
I'll just
identify
okay,
stay
as
with
means
you
whatever you
two then.
want.
If you don't go back to science,
science. Okay, what is science?
you
Tell
know,
me. Is
okay,
science a giant man? Is science a existing giant man that I can go and interact with? What is science?
You're annoying. Can we
uh,
just? Can you chill out, dude, a little bit? Being kind of
sorry, who needs to chill out?
this guy, New Moon. I mean, you went off on Sophia. You called her a retard and
Uh,
stuff, but
It's gentle. It's mild. It's just I strongly disagree with not getting the rabies vaccine. I strongly disagree with
Yeah,
it.
he disagrees, but he's never even looked into the subject. It's
Oh my god!
fascinating.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I'm a rabies expert. Believe it or not, I research rabies quite a lot. Okay. Did you know that
But
there's
you
a
don't even know what the proof is for rabies.
no? So you can get antibodies. So we can verify that rabies does exist. You can find it in the spinal fluid in the brain when the person dies, right? And when you get the vaccine, you pretty much 100% survive after a bite.
Do they pay you to promote vaccines? Is that part of your job?
No, no, no. I'm just
Okay,
saying get the rabies
what if
vaccine.
I call that vaccine a medicine? Then do you have any problem? A
No,
cure
no,
for a
it
kind of
is a
a disease?
medicine. By the
Why?
way, Joe, are you also against rabies vaccines?
No, if someone is getting ill and if there is a cause and effect of some kind of particular problem in the body, and if there is something that can make someone cure, then you can call it vaccine or whatever. I will call it a medicine. So why you are calling it a vaccine or something?
Okay, because the mechanism is that you put a dead, like a dead, weaker form of the virus into your body. And then your body builds antibodies to it. And then when the real thing comes along, your body's going to attack the
How do you know
rabies
it's a
virus.
virus? How do you know it's a dead virus?
It's a Lissa virus. It's from the family of Lissa viruses. It's classified as a virus. I don't know the reasoning. I
Have
should
you ever
research it.
verified it? Have you ever verified it?
Why it's a virus and not a bacteria or a fungi?
You are calling it a virus. First, you have to define what is a virus is, right?
Yeah, I think I know this. There's a stream of truth of thought where they're rethinking viruses, isn't there? And I bet you dabbled with that based on your questioning. At the moment, all I know is that the rabies vaccine works. That's it. It works. Semantics aside.
Practically, if something is working, why you are telling us your theory to believe? If something is working practically, that doesn't mean that I have to believe whatever bullshit theory is given to me by the mainstream.
Okay, but Joe, I should ask though, would you get the rabies vaccine? Can you remind me? What was your answer? Would you ever get it if you were bitten? Oh, he's gone on mute. I want to see how prevalent this thinking is amongst
I'm
flat
telling
earth.
you, probably the majority of people in here are smart enough to say no to that.
Really? You really think so? Any other takers?
Yeah,
Would
because the
anyone else
majority of
not
people
get
who
the
hang
rabies
out in
vaccine? Come
here,
forward.
yeah, because the majority of people who hang out in here know that viruses don't exist.
Okay.
I'm smart enough to
Can
say
anyone come
yes.
forward? Anyone come forward? Are you going to get the rabies vaccine or not if you were bitten?
I have actually gotten it when I was bitten by a bat.
Oh, good for you. He's a smart man.
I said the majority of people. Manufactotum is one. There's one or two here that will say yes, obviously. That's why I said the
Okay.
majority of people who hang
Yeah,
out
that's
in
why I
here
did a call out.
know that
Anyone coming forward
viruses
can walk.
don't. I'm not
Yeah.
finished. The majority of people know that viruses don't exist because they've looked into virology and their methodologies and all of the things that go with that, and they found out that it's a scam.
Okay. Well, it's awfully quiet now. I guess people just don't want to come forward. But I'll take it your word for it. So most people here probably wouldn't get the rabies vaccine. And that's dreadful. That's a dreadful thought.
Just on like the polling of the room, I think she's probably right about that.
Right, okay, so we've got another testimony then. Okay, now flat earthers are strange people. No doubt.
Well, someone brought up
I'm
yesterday. I
asking
don't know if it was
you,
in.
I'm asking you
Someone told
for
me
the
there.
proof of the globe.
Okay, no,
but
Joe, you're
you
back.
use
The
that.
question, answer the question. Would you get the vaccine if you were bitten by a dog that looked suspicious? Yes or no? Just a yes or no answer.
Me?
Yes, you.
But I'll not call it like, because it's verified by the data. Like when a dog bites, and if the dog is having some kind of illness that is causing other people to die and having that kind of disease that's called rabies. And yeah, there is cure for that. And the nature gives us that cure. It's not like man invented it. Man can't invent anything. It's already provided by the nature to cure you from some kind
Okay,
of
it's a yes
disease.
or no question. Would you get the vaccine?
Yeah,
Well, you
I'll
could
Okay,
get
up.
the
good.
vaccine.
Okay, good for you.
How about this?
But
You could
it's
up.
not.
You could you
But
could
it
up the.
doesn't mean that I will believe their theory. Like whatever they are claiming, how this working, it doesn't mean I have to believe that. Even placebo effect, but even some medicines work. But I don't have to believe all the theories.
I was just gonna say you could up the ante, and you could say that you got bit by a dog, and then the dog got tested positive for rabies, and then someone comes to you and says, "Hey, that dog that bit you, we just tested it for rabies and it tested positive." Then you could up the ante, meaning that you've tested the dog and you know it has rabies and you know it bit you, directly, and the saliva got into your, through your blood in your skin. Because what they claim is that you have to take the vaccine, you know, before it kicks in. Because once it kicks in, they say it's pretty much
Yeah.
fatal. They say there's like 70,000 deaths a year on the earth in total in terms of rabies per year is what they claim. And then they claim that there's only like 5 people that have ever survived it. Every other person has died. And you can't take the vaccine after the symptoms kick in, is what they claim. Like what takes like a month or two for the symptoms to start happening. So yeah, it's
Right.
pretty intense. Like,
I just posted a short Facebook, it's Facebook, but there's a short clip where they actually go through what the CDC says the proof is for rabies. It's like a couple of minutes long. You can just, it's super funny.
Okay, can I see it? Where is it?
It's in the text chat.
In a side chat? Let me see.
No, not the site, the live stream chat.
Okay.
I tried clicking on it and it says this content isn't available right now. It says when this happens, it's usually because the owner only shared it with a small group of people. Change who can see it or it's been deleted. That was the message I got when I tried to go to it.
Maybe, let me see if I can get a better one.
Okay, so it's just the CDC's proof for rabies. I'm sure I can Google it.
I mean, I'm not really making one. Like, I've never seen anyone die from rabies, in front of me. So it, yeah, like I don't have any firsthand proof that it exists, but unless they were making all of that up, it does sound severe though. Like your lungs just like dilapidate. You can't breathe. You die.
It's terrifying, yeah, because what ends up happening is that, like your airways shut, and like your chest compresses, all the muscles compress, whenever you think about water, and so you can't swallow, and you get painful spasms that are terrifyingly painful. So
Oh yeah,
you're dying of thirst, but you can't drink at the
you
same time, and that's dreadful.
There's another link. See if that one works.
yeah, this one works. Yeah, I can see the video now. Yeah, that's what they claim. You can't swallow, and then you get like a fear of water. You get like afraid of actual water, like psychologically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also fear of light sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds insane. And like the idea that you could get bitten by a rabid animal and then, I mean, I'm just saying the way they claim it is pretty frightening because, like, once the symptoms kick in, they say that it's pretty much fatal, and then they can't even do anything for you. So, what, you would just sit in the hospital and just have to die over like 3, 4 days and they can't even do anything to save you? It's crazy.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
most
you
of
are,
the times, yeah, most of the time people always die. There's no there's no return back when the symptoms happens. When he's having rabies symptoms, he will definitely die.
Yeah, that's what they say. I think I've heard that they say there's only like 5 people that have ever survived it. One of them, they say that they put him into a coma,
Yeah.
and because they think that because they put him into a coma, their body was so shut down from other functions that it was able to fight off the virus. That's like one story that they claim. I mean, you're asking if
Yeah.
we would get if people would get the vaccine.
No, people
That's a
people
really
die
tough
all
one.
the day. Like even my nearby hospital, there like rabies cases are always there.
Well, they say that virtually no one dies in the United States. There's like less than like one death a year, but in other countries, like actually, I think
Like
yeah, in other countries,
in my country.
there's a lot of wild
Yeah.
dogs on the streets that have rabies. They
Yeah,
claim.
like in my country in India, like there are so many stray dogs and they are wow. They kill a lot of people. Like in my city, Delhi, like the cases are so much increasing. Like I think thousands and thousands people die every month here. And government also like um planned to cage the dogs, but the dog lovers come to protest and the dogs are still here.
So, do you know anyone who has died of it, or you said people that you know like are dying of it? You're immediately aware of that because in the United States, there's like 1 or 2 cases a year. So it's like not even a part of
Um,
our. And they claim it's because of all the vaccines for the dogs. They claim it's because of all the vaccines they've given to the dogs. That have
yeah, like you can go to even on YouTube, you can go and you can find out so many patients of rabies and the symptoms, and they will definitely die after 3 or 4 days, 5 days
Tragic.
maximum, 5 7 days,
Tragic.
and
I-
they are scared of water most of the time. They can't drink it.
No, all of the time. All of the time.
well, it's like once the
Yeah,
symptoms kick in, right? Once it starts happening,
Yeah, you're a dead person.
it's pretty
Yeah,
insane.
that's the prodromal phase. Before that, you've got the incubation phase. That's when it's traveling slowly throughout your body to get to the central nervous system. That's when the vaccine is effective. But when when it gets into the central nervous system, you're dead. That's the prodromal phase. That's when you get the fever, the headaches, the tingling at the site of the bite. Classical symptoms. You're a dead man or woman. Or they, them. You're a dead they, them, in my case.
what's they and them according to you? You are not defining it.
No, I don't want to talk about it. It's just a joke.
Oh,
Let's
so
not
you're
change
you're
it to gender.
spreading you're spreading
Please,
something
no, it's
that you can't
boring.
even
Oh my
define.
god, I
Then
hate.
if you can't even
It's
define,
a
then why
joke,
you're spreading?
dude. Talk about rabies or flat Earth, please. Something interesting.
Just as a linguistics point, because this always bothers me, they, them has been used for the singular since James Joyce and Shakespeare. So,
Is that what they claim though? They're bringing back Shakespeare and James Joyce.
no, it's just the singular criticism of it has to refer to multiple people is a silly one.
What about us? The word us, us. Doesn't that always mean multiple?
Except in the Bible, where okay, where God refers to himself in the royal plural, but I don't think that's being sort of brought back, quote unquote.
D2 is 102,260,250.3029 kilometers. And then finally, we apply Kepler-Stir law to the Martian year. This, we get a value of 1.523069 R. R is the distance between Earth and the Sun and the distance that we are trying to find. So we rewrote it as 1.523069 R. So this becomes our final equation. 2 times 1.523069 R equals 2R plus D1 plus D2. At this point, it's just algebra. So since we had a value for D1 and D2, let's add them together. Our equation is now this. If we solve the left side of the equation, it turns into this. Now, if we minus 2R from both sides, since we have a 2R on both sides, it becomes this. And then finally, we rearrange the equation to find R. And when we do, it comes out to that. And then finally, the result. 151,883,157.2 kilometers, or around 94,375,818.47 miles. Pretty pictures help.
Given the date, what was the distance of the AU on that day?
Sorry, there's a background hum. Can you repeat that? Oh, wait, hang on.
What's the distance?
Snacks, your audio's coming through. Okay, repeat that again.
Yeah. What was the distance to the sun for that date?
It wasn't a date. This observation took place over months. So the distance between, like, Mars was on a particular date, the measurement of Kepler-Stir law was on a particular date, but those were not done on the same date.
It's just math magic, dude.
Yeah, sure. That's all it was. That's all it was, man. It wasn't rigorous in the slightest, right?
Second order measurements.
You're taking these angles and stuff to, I mean, those aren't the actual positions of them, right?
What do you mean? Actual positions of what?
All the things you're taking angles to.
Yeah, those were the actual positions, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to get a measurement.
So when we look at things in the distance, those are where they actually are.
I don't know what you're referring to. If I were to use a reference to the background stars, I know where it is in reference to the background stars. If I'm looking at an object in the distance and there's something further out I can say it's in reference to, then it is objectively so far in reference to that other thing in the same shot within the view of my Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope.
Yeah, I know, but all the angles you're making to things, like, those things aren't actually in those positions in the sky, right? They're somewhere else, or is this is no refraction day?
Even if you wanted to assume the worst possible refraction out there, it's the background stars that we were measuring it in relation to, which means if the refraction is changing the position of Mars, then it would also be changing the position of the background stars. And since we were using the background stars as a reference point, refraction is pretty much negated at that. And also, being that this was way up in the sky, refraction is minimal. I would also make mention that we made this measurement from 2 different spots on the Earth. I was in Colorado and he was in Florida. So we had different refractive conditions, let's say different weather conditions at the time. I mean, both were clear. That's how we got a shot. But we were able to get a measurement within 0.00150,702 degrees. That's pretty damn good.
Did you use the radius of the Earth's revolution around the sun at all?
No, that's what we were trying to find. We were trying to find that radius. That is the distance to the sun. That's what we were trying to find. So we didn't use it to begin with because we didn't have it. We didn't have it yet.
So where'd you get the radius?
I just went over how we got the radius. It was 151,883,157.2 kilometers at the end of all the work that we just did. We got it from our measurements.
Okay, so the
That was the
Calculation.
purpose of the video. That was the
No,
purpose
but
of the
where?
video.
Yeah,
I
but
should
what
say.
you were using the radius of the Earth at one point. I'm just wondering. You were talking so fast, bro. I wasn't keeping up.
Okay. We were.
Where'd you get the radius?
Orbital radius of Earth he's using. That's what he's using.
Right. You were using a radius. I'm pretty sure, dude.
You're no, we weren't using the radius of our orbit. We weren't using that at all. Are you talking about the size of the Earth, the radius of the Earth itself?
That's what you said, Red. You said the orbital radius of Earth you used for your calculations.
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
In terms of Earth's orbital radius is what I said, and I was doing that as a direct comparison to how wide Mars's orbit is. So, how big is the orbit of Mars in terms of Earth's orbital radius? We don't know how big Earth's orbital radius is, but in terms of that value, whatever it is, it's 1.5 whatever the fuck I came up with times that value. Now I can use that to rearrange the equation to find that value.
Hold on. So you used Mars's orbital radius?
Correct.
Right. So how'd you presuppose that? Just by doing parallax measurements?
It wasn't a presupposition, but let's go over this again. You can see the screen that I can share, right?
Well, I'm just wondering, how'd you get the radius? Through parallax measurements, right?
I appreciate that. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is very simple, all right? So the first thing we did was we found the actual size of Mars. You remember how we did that, right?
Yeah, I disagree with your methodology, dude.
I don't care if you disagree with this particular part.
I don't need you to run, dude. I don't want you to run through it again, dude. We just heard.
Then you don't want me to answer your question. Then you don't want me to answer your question because I have to run through this because you asked me how I did it. I'm going to tell you how I did it. If you don't want the answer, don't ask the question.
Give me a summary. I don't need you to go step by step, dude.
No, because I'm not going to sacrifice context so you can misunderstand it later. So you ask the question, I'm going to answer it properly. So here we go. We have angle M, which we found. We have angle A, which we found. We had the baseline, 2502 point whatever the fuck. I already told you how we got all of these values. This gives us a distance to Mars, okay?
Yeah, this is why I disagree with what. Yeah, you're presupposing a distance based off of parallax measurements, dude.
Hang on. So the distance that we were able to find is 80,980,483 point whatever the fuck. All right, that's point one. Keep that point in your back pocket. Just remember that. That means that if I'm able to find the actual size of Mars by viewing its angular size within the size of my telescope, that is a physical measurement since I already know the scale in which I am looking. If I know the scale, if I know that each pixel of my image equals this much angular size, I can just ask the question.
That's not a physical measurement, dude.
How many pixels wide is Mars?
Exactly.
Which means its angular size, not its actual size, its angular size, how big it looks, is 0.00487,558 degrees. This is when it becomes physical.
That's where you go wrong, dude. Stop. Pause right there, dude. Pause right there, bro. Pause right there. Pause right there. Pause right there. Pause, dude.
The arctan of G over 2R.
Bro, this is where you go wrong, dude. Fundamentally, this is where you go wrong.
Hold on a second.
To find the actual
diameter. He's just gonna go through fucking mad numbers.
I don't think he can hear us. Lion, hold on, man. I don't think he can hear. Red, can you hear us?
Yes, I would like to finish my point.
Could you just pause right there? Ryan wanted to object, or do we have to go through this whole thing?
Yeah, he said this is a physical. He's calling
it. We're going to go through this whole thing every time. I would stop.
No, we have to go to just this one slide.
Okay, I
just
hear
this
you.
one slide.
Yeah, I hear you. Hold on.
Thank you,
Lion. If you're going to, if he's going to do this every time, I would stop asking him questions. If you can't,
yeah, I'm just gonna. This is the last thing.
If you can't do like a 2-minute response or whatever, 3-minute response or whatever he's doing, I just would stop asking him questions. But go ahead, Red.
Thank you. My response would have been under 90 seconds. I've been allowed to finish. So alpha equals 2 times the arctan of G over 2R. So we already have alpha and we have R. We can rearrange to find G. That's all this is doing. This is just rearranging to find G. That gives us the Martian diameter of 6891. That is the physical size of Mars. Physical size can give us a lot of information like D1 and D2. Do you see that?
Yeah,
I
it's
hope you
not a
do.
physical measurement. You don't know the physical size of Mars simply because you did some optical measurements. An optical measurement is not a physical measurement, dude, especially if you have to consider refraction or just the fact that
I'm
you're
just gonna
looking.
leave that number right there. We're
Bro,
just gonna
you're
leave
trying
that.
to
Right
you're
Red,
trying
can
to
you hear a
measure
lion?
Mars.
Hold on a
You're
second,
trying to.
lion. Oh, lion, hold on.
Gosh,
Red, can you hear a lion? Was somebody hot micing or I don't know? Go ahead, lion.
nah, he just wants to ignore me, bro. He's acting like because he looked through a telescope, right, and he counted some pixels that he's got a physical measurement. There's a difference between actually measuring, right, an object physically with a tape measure, right, versus looking through a telescope at something that's thousands of million miles away and acting like he's got a physical measurement and then presupposing the size of Mars and then using that presupposition to then configure a whole paradigm based off of the heliocentric model. Yes,
Are you
you're
saying he
just
didn't? You're saying he didn't physically count the pixels?
no. I'm saying that counting the pixels isn't a physical measurement of
He
Mars.
measured the pixels. He
You-
counted them, and that's measurement, right,
Yeah,
Red?
that's
That's
why I
a
brought up.
it's
That's why I brought
a
up
second order
Alan.
measurement.
That's
It's a second order
That's why I
measurement.
brought up
order. It's he
exactly, and that's why
he
I
has
brought
a
up
screen
Alan
right
and
as he's
Shane's.
not using.
Right, but
I'm just gonna leave
it's
I
this.
don't
not
know,
a physical
clearly
it's
you're
not a it's not
bulldozing
a
over
it's
everyone.
not a it's not a first order principle, right? It's a second order principle
You
where
don't
he's
know what that
using.
means.
Dude, I'm trying to explain it to you, bro. There's a difference between taking a picture of something, right, and trying to count the pixels and calling that a first order measurement when it's not a first order measurement. You're counting pixels of something that's million miles away, and he's calling it a physical measurement. It's not a physical measurement. A physical measurement where if you were actually to touch the fucking planet, which we know you can't do that, when you actually touch the object and you measure from point A to point B physically, not through a fucking optic at something thousands of millions of miles away, dude. It's a big difference. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. So this is where I show that you have no confidence in the position that you just laid out for everyone. And I like demonstrating this for everyone. So I am willing to bet you $10,000. Let's meet up. Let's sign
American?
it with at a lawyer's office, and we will do an experiment. I will try to predict a random sphere that you bring with you. I won't know it ahead of time. It will be at a particular distance away, and I will only have my telescopes. Your job is to place it at a random distance, bring a random spherical object like Mars's, but whether it's a basketball or don't do that, that'll be too easy to guess. Bring a random sphere. And what I will do is just by optics alone, I will measure the circumference, the radius, and the diameter of that sphere. If what you're saying is true, then I should not be able to do that. And I bet you that not only will I be able to do it, I will be accurate to within 1%. If I'm at 98.9%, there, that's not good enough. 1% accuracy. If I am within
Hold on, let me just
1%
explain.
accuracy, hang on. If I'm within
Hold on, he's
1%
gotta finish at
accuracy,
some point. Hold on, Lion.
if I am within 1% accuracy, then I get your $10,000. If I fail, then you get $10,000, and I will sign that document at a lawyer's office. Are you willing to join me?
I don't want you to misunderstand what I'm saying, bro. You can use second order measurements, and second order measurements can be reliable, especially if you
So we have no
verified
problem.
them, especially if they're calibrated
Please
and
don't,
verified.
guys, please don't
But there's a
interrupt.
difference between me using let's say a stationary auto level, right? Versus, or like, let's say, you know how you have those laser levels that you use for rooms that you can measure the distance from wall to wall using a laser, right? I can use a laser and measure the distance of a room, right? I can measure the diameter of a room, no problem, right? With lasers. That's considered an optic. That's considered a second order measurement. But the way that I know that my laser is working properly is that I can verify physically by actually using a tape measure, verifying that my laser is working correctly by measuring the distance of the room. There's no problem with making calculations based off of second order measurements as long as those second order measurements have been verified physically. Now, how can you verify the second order measurements that you've done with Mars when you can't physically measure it? Go ahead.
First of all, there's no such thing as second order measurements, first order, third order, or fourth order. I would love for you to define these things. There's only measurements. It's how you're making the measurements is what you're trying to say. And I knew you didn't want to take that bet. I knew you didn't want to take that bet. That illustrates that you have
Zion.
zero confidence in the
Come on,
horseshit
dude.
that
You're
you were saying
posturing. You're
previously.
posturing.
Zion,
Now
Dude,
that
you're
we have
posturing.
established that,
Zion,
now that
stop.
we have
Hold on,
established
dude.
that, now
Dude,
that we have
you're
established
acting
that,
You're making
okay,
a
no,
dude.
second
now
order
that we have
pass.
So
established that,
so a cop
Hold
so a
on, guys.
cop's
no,
Joe, I
a
can't get
cop's
lost.
now
radar
that we
gun
have established
Everyone's
that,
a
got a
cop's
talking
radar
place.
gun's
Lion,
automatically considered
Lion
a.
and Red's
Go
rhetoric. I
ahead.
need you guys.
Zion,
So
let me
Hold
deal with
on.
him for a
No,
minute,
dude.
okay?
now that we
No,
have established
dude.
that,
Hold on, Red.
Red.
Guys, hold
Red.
on. Joe Rich, stop.
Okay.
I'm trying. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. Okay. Stop talking then. All right. Guys, Red, I need everyone to shorten their statements up because people want to respond to a lot of stuff and people go on and on. So please be concise. Let Reds finish. Lions
Thank you.
next. Joe, you're hot
Yeah.
micing. You're hot micing. Joe Rich, you're hot micing. Let
Okay,
Reds
so I'm
finish. And
saying
then
something.
let's let Reds finish. And then Lion, you go next. And then Joe, you can go after Lion.
thank you. So, as I was saying, given the fact that we're able to make these measurements, you're asking me, how can I verify that my optics are quote unquote well calibrated or whatever? Because I can test these things. If my scopes were not accurate, I could not make any measurements with them because they would be self-contradictory. So for example, if I take a basketball or something and I put it at some distance away and I look at it through my telescope, I can say, okay, it's this big in my field of view at this far away, therefore I have a pixel scale that I can utilize. I can then apply that pixel scale to any fucking thing I look at since I know how many pixels that object would occupy. There is literally no problem with that. The methodology is reliable.
Okay, so can I answer that again? So
yeah, go ahead.
the
Yeah,
thing
no,
is, I already destroyed your claim regarding that. Okay, your optics, your physics, it will work because it's verified based on the earthly objects. If you have a football, if you have any object, okay, we can calculate its distance by using that methodology. And we can also verify that. But it doesn't mean like if we are applying that on the earthly objects and it's working always, it doesn't mean you can go and apply it for the Mars and for the sun. And that's why I have already answered that question before you bring this all thing that is a
Yeah, I already
deceptive
debunked you.
thing
correct.
used to deceive people. So you can't just go and apply optics or the physics based on that was verified or proven to be true in your sense on the earthly verifications. You can't apply that to the Mars. So this is the only thing you need to understand, and your whole work is destroyed.
Well,
That's hold
you
on,
already
dude.
forgot one thing though. You
Gosh,
forgot one
dude.
thing that we already accept that you don't accept trigonometry. You even misdefined trigonometry as physics. We already know you're not going to accept this shit, bro, because you hate
Optics is
trig.
physics.
No,
Optics
you
is
hate
physics.
trig.
That's dishonest.
You just
Red,
hate trig.
you're
We already
using
went over this.
Optics is
Red, you're
physics, and you
using an
can't
Yeah,
apply
orbital.
so
physics.
he would basically New Moon said exactly the same thing that I was gonna say, right? Just because you verified it working locally doesn't mean that you verified it working at long distances, right? And this is the thing with optics with lasers, you can't unless you can verify physically, right? The second order measurements, they're unreliable. That's why they're called second order, bro. And that's why
There's no such
physical
thing.
will always. Yes, there is. That's why physical measurements will always be superior to second order measurements. And he doesn't want to distinguish between first order and second order because he knows that his whole model is based off of second order measurements, dude, which are unverified.
So
And that's
again,
why I
there's
came
only
back to the
measurements.
mountain. Can I for a moment, Red? Because you have been talking a lot.
I mean, these
And that's
guys are
why I
going
brought
at
it
Reds.
back to the
Reds got to be able
mountain.
to respond. I mean, it's bad enough two
Yeah,
of
but
them
I've been
went back to
trying to
back.
respond for a
Now
whole
three, it's going to be
decade,
three
Jeremy.
v1.
I'm
And
more
it's
than
the same
happy.
point.
No,
Let's
I'm
let
more than
Crystal
happy to
go.
let Zion be wrong on this. Please, Crystal, go ahead.
All right. All right.
When you're saying it, I'm using it as an orbital radius, but that's just saying I'm using the rim of the wider circle of the Earth as that radius. But even that's why I told you go back to the mountain of Shane and Allen, because they are testing that radius and that's linked over the Earth out how we measure that in a straight line and how that compares to the surface itself. So when you're using that calculated radius based on a 360-degree circle, which is we only have a 90-degree radius of, when you're using that and applying that to the sky, then you're gonna make mistakes.
All right, can I respond to that? All right, the reason why where everything you just said, I'm assuming it's going to go in a direction that I think it's going to go. I may be misunderstanding, please correct me if I'm wrong, is you're using the celestial theodolite, which was already absolutely 100% obliterated when Astronomy Life debated Alan on that. And the only reason that Alan denies the measurements is because he says, quote, it's not reproducible. Not that the numbers show that the flat
You're
Earth
talking
actually
about
comports
your
with reality.
airplane now again. I'm talking
Hold
about
on,
the
interrupt.
There
mountain
we
that
go.
is
See?
stuck under
Crizzle,
Earth.
hold on.
See?
I know, Red. Crizzle, he was mid-sentence, right? Reds, were you
I
done or
was
no?
mid-sentence. Yeah, thank you. So again, you're about to say, which you just did, so you kind of gave me a hint on that, the airplanes don't count, the airplanes don't count. No, they did count because Shane tried to utilize Astronomy Live's measurements with the fucking airplanes. The only reason Shane stopped using Astronomy Live's measurements is because he was caught lying about the observer location. Then when he was corrected on the observer location, all of a sudden, after the fact, airplanes became not kosher and not appropriate for this task. He was talking out of both sides of his mouth, and you ate that shit up. So
No, I
what am I?
didn't
So
eat
so
that
let me ask you
shit
this.
up.
So
I'm
let me
saying you
ask you
that you
this.
should
No,
stick to the
hang on,
Earth when
hang on.
you're
Let me ask you
measuring
this.
a distance.
No,
That's what I'm telling you.
Let me
And
ask
you're
you this.
making
No,
your
it's okay.
calculations
It's
based on
okay.
a
It's
distance
okay.
that is
I'm going to ask you this
derived
question.
in the
I'm going to
same
ask you this
manner.
question. So the question is, was Shane full of shit then, or is Shane full of shit now? I want to know which Shane I need to trust here. Is Shane full of shit then
Reds,
or
you need
now?
to quit monologuing and let people respond and quit talking over them, please. Me
I'm
as an
sorry.
audience member
Was
want
the
to hear
answer
what
too
other people
complicated for
beside you have
you?
to say. Thank you.
Was the answer too complicated for you?
Nah, Rez just got interrupted by Crizzle for the third time today. But Red, if you could make it more
Yeah,
a
of
little bit
course,
more.
Jeremy.
Hold on, dude.
When
Now
I,
you're
when
interrupting
he's
me. Now you are
misrepresenting because he's
interrupting
going from
me.
a mountain to an airplane, what he just did.
So again, there was no
Hold
problem
on,
with
dude.
the
Hold
air.
on, man.
Okay.
I don't know why
Okay.
Crizzle just interrupted the shit out of me like that. That was obnoxious. But
All right.
I need Red. I need you to try. Can you just be a little bit more concise, please, and just shorten it up just a little bit?
I can try, but I don't
Thank
want to
you.
sacrifice context.
I
That's the
know.
problem.
I know.
So anyway, Shane used Astronomy Live's measurements. Astronomy Live's measurements had airplanes in it. If airplanes were a problem, Shane wouldn't have used those measurements in the first place. The only time Shane refused to use those measurements is when he was caught lying about the observer location. So clearly the planes weren't the problem. That's my point. So Crizzle, anything this up? Did she just fucking leave? Yeah, I guess so. Anyway. Oh, that was fun.
Okay, so anyways, you're pointing your telescope or measuring these objects.
Yes.
I think I got you to admit earlier that they're not in their actual position, right? It was like pulling teeth, but you did admit that they're not in their actual position.
No, I was trying to decipher what you were meaning by that because we were measuring their position relative to the background stars. As was seen in both of our images from both Colorado and Florida, there was no change to the background stars. We got the same scale, orientation, and all that shit.
And you're saying the stars are in their actual position.
Doesn't matter. Let's say refraction
No,
gave it off
answer
to
it, dude.
20. Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
No, answer the question. Stop deflecting.
I was just doing that until you interrupted.
It's like pulling teeth, dude. Holy shit. Just answer the fucking question.
That's
Are they in
exactly
the
what I'm
position
doing.
or
Shut
not?
the fuck up and allow it to happen. Shut the fuck up and allow it to happen.
Let him go. You can go next line.
Thank you. Holy shit. Anyway, So let's say refraction was really, really bad. Like let's say it was off by 20 degrees. It will never be that in reality. But let's say it was. That would not matter because the background stars would be refracted to the same amount as Mars was. And since we were using the background stars to do the measurements, that's the only thing that mattered.
Do you want to go, Lion?
Sorry, I got to mute and unmute. I'm at work. Yeah, so he's basically measuring something that's not even in its actual position, and he's calling it a first order measurement. He's calling it a physical measurement, something that's in an apparent position. And then he's using another presupposition, which is the backdrop of the stars. He has no idea, right, about the backdrop of the stars, how far they are, how big they are, no clue. And he wants to then use some math magic and configure the model. It's reverse engineering, dude. How do you guys not see this? Don't let him go get away with this math magic on you guys.
Oh, he's coping. Copeland.
Yeah, he's coping pretty hard. It's reverse engineered.
Okay, so yeah, I realize you're measuring them in relation to the background stars, and you had a little assumption in there that the refraction for the background stars was the same as the thing you're measuring them to in relation to. So I don't know how you know that. I don't think you do know that. You've definitely never measured that. The refraction from here to
So
that.
basically, so you're telling me the refraction would be so different within a viewing area so small that if I were to put my finger on the telescope, I can see my heartbeat on film? We're talking about a very small patch of the sky. So refraction would have to be pretty fucked beyond, what was it, 0.02 degrees of the sky? And we have a lot of fucking sky to work with. And in two different locations, Florida and Colorado.
It's not about how much you can see of it. It's about the refraction being the same from the Mars or the sun or whatever you're trying to measure as the stars are. And you've never actually measured it. I'm just pointing out that there's no actual measurement here.
No, I'm pointing to you that there is an actual measurement, and we can prove that refraction wasn't a problem because we made this measurement from two different locations on Earth with, I'm assuming, different refraction values. Florida is not Colorado, and when we were able to align our images, we were able to do so with literally zero issues whatsoever. They lined up perfectly.
Okay, that doesn't mean that they're in there, that's where they are. That's where the foreground object is according to the stars when you change positions. That's what I'm saying. You don't have any measurements of the refraction from us to the object or from us to the stars. So if you were measuring it in reference to the stars, the refraction from us to the stars may not be the same in both locations. It also may not be the same from the object to the star. So
the only way for the refraction to ruin our measurement would be for it to literally change the position of the stars. But as we saw from both locations, they were in the exact same position. There was no change whatsoever. So whatever refraction was in there, it was so minute that it was literally imperceivable in terms of the position of the stars, considering that when we were able to line them up, we did so perfectly without any problems.
yes, and like I said, the refraction to the stars may not be the same as the other object you're referencing it to. So that could be changing. I'm just letting everyone know there's no actual measurement here of anything geometric going on because you never actually measured which way the light's bending. You're just claiming the refraction's minimal. Like I said, it could be the same for the stars and then the object shifts or whatever. There is no measurement here. Lion knows it. Lion knows
that's why I'm telling people that you're wrong, because we know for a fact that the refraction wasn't a problem, because if it was, then it would change the position of the stars. If it didn't change the position of the stars between Colorado and Florida, that means refraction was not present. It wasn't having any impact on our measurements. Yes, Mars shifted in the image a bit, but that's because of the parallax that we had. And when we were able to utilize that information, we got a distance to Mars that seemed to be awfully consistent with what the nameless, faceless they had been saying this entire time. So was refraction trying to fool us in a particular way.
Oh, it's like you're not understanding what I'm saying. Lion, did you want to go or?
Yeah, I want to ask you a question. Do you think that if the Earth was stationary and the sky was precessing, right, precession of the equinox, or even just the sidereal rotation after 6 months, and you did a parallax measurement, would you agree that you would also have a parallax?
I'm sorry, repeat that again.
Whether you're measuring the precession of the equinox and the parallax during the precession of the equinox, or the precession or stellar aberration, stellar parallax, whatever parallax that you're measuring, it could happen with the sky itself, not the Earth spinning or the Earth revolving around the sun, but the sky moving around the Earth. Would you measure parallax?
No, we weren't using the equinox or the precession of the Earth. That didn't come up at all. I'm confused
I know,
as to
but
why you're
I'm
bringing
just
it
answering
up.
the question. It's a hypothetical. Can you entertain a hypothetical or not?
The hypothetical has nothing to do with what the fuck I was just showing.
It's about measuring parallax with a stationary Earth. You think it's possible, right? If the sky were spinning, right, to measure parallax.
I don't know what you're asking.
The answer is yes. The answer is yes.
Okay, cool. Answer your own question for me, because I don't know what the fuck you're asking.
Yeah, of course. You don't want to answer it because you know that you could measure parallax. As if the sky is spinning and not the Earth, you could still measure parallax, bro.
We can still measure parallax from two different observers from the surface of the Earth, regardless what the Earth is fucking doing.
That's what I'm trying to explain.
Okay,
so if you're
what's your
measuring
point?
if you're measuring a Mars, right, a couple months apart, and you're measuring the angle to Mars a couple months apart, regardless if the Earth is spinning or the sky is spinning around the Earth, right, you would measure parallax.
And your point is?
It's not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, he just showed you the reference frame. He's like, are you moving towards the object, or is the object moving towards you? I think is the argument.
Oh, that doesn't matter, because we weren't measuring its motion. We were only measuring its position. Oh, so
What he's interpreting as the orbital radius, the orbital radius of the Earth. What he's interpreting as the orbital radius of the Earth. You can use that same math for a geocentric model where the Earth isn't orbiting at all. It's not mutually exclusive.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. Yes,
no,
you
you
can.
can't. It would violate Kepler's third law, which we just verified in this piece that I just shared.
No, absolutely not. It's
yes, it would.
Dude,
because what it would require is, would you like to learn, or would you like to just talk over me? Kepler's third law is based on actual physics. Actual physics dictate that if I were to have multiple objects spaced apart at different distances orbiting around the same object at the exact same time, that means Earth would have many different masses all at the exact same time. That's a contradiction. So no, it doesn't work like that. The physics doesn't agree with that.
Dude, there's models that model the Earth stationary, and it's kinematically and dynamically equivalent.
Here's that name
it
again.
doesn't. The parallax would happen on either model, dude. The same exact parallax would happen in either model, dude.
Again, you're talking about the position, and while at the same time trying to talk about the motion. Okay, you said that that if an object at multiple different distances, that it is possible for all of those objects at those multiple different distances to orbit at the same orbital rate. That is impossible given the physics. It would require the Earth to be multiple different masses all at the exact same time. Simply shouting kinematics like an Allen fanboy doesn't solve that problem.
Yeah, you're just posturing, right? I'm not attacking you, dude. I already explained to you, bro. If the Earth was stationary and the sky was moving, you'd still measure the same exact parallax, dude. The same exact parallax.
Yeah, but
regardless of refraction, regardless of your measurements, that's all logically irrelevant. You could literally, you can use the same exact math for a stationary model of the Earth. I don't know why you deny that, and then you act like, oh, just yelling kinematics isn't going to prove your point.
No, you
Is that
can't use
your
the
only
same
rebuttal?
math. That's the fucking problem. Because if you try to use the same math to calculate the orbital velocity of the satellites, you would get a contradiction the very moment you do. Because it would require that multiple objects at different distances orbit at the same orbital rate. That would require the Earth to be multiple different masses all at the exact same time. Now try to debunk that with by saying the word kinematics.
That's
You
not.
won't be able to do it.
Well, you're talking about dynamics, dude. Dude, you don't even do you know the difference between kinematics and dynamics? When you're talking about the velocity, right? The dynamics. I'm talking about kinematics.
Oh, really?
We're not talking about forces right now. We're not invoking forces. We're invoking apparent positions. You're making measurements of apparent positions. Those same measurements would work out exactly the same with a stationary model of the Earth. Get wrecked.
Cool. So with that hollow victory, just take it and run away because I'm tired of educating you on this. It's like I'm talking to a brick wall.
Fred, the backgrounds.
What was that?
The background stars could be the same for both people, right? Maybe shifted a little bit here or there. It could be shifted a lot of bit, you know, for each person. Obviously, they change. They're not in the same exact position. Like you don't see the same star at 45 degrees for each person. So they could be that whole scene could be shifted. Who knows how much, right? You've never measured that refraction or how the light's bending in between us and the stars, right?
So it would have to shift in exactly the same position. You want to believe that?
Yes, the whole scene could be shifted. I'm telling you.
But it wasn't because we were able to overlay it perfectly.
No, I know you could overlay it perfectly, but the whole picture is shifted because of refraction.
The whole picture was not shifted because, as I said it, if any shift existed in the image, then it would change the position of the stars. And since we were using the stars as our reference point, that's the only shift that we would care about. That would mean that if we were to overlay our images and they didn't line up, we would have a problem. At that point, we would not have a measurement.
The position of the stars are not the same for both observers. You do not go
Yes,
out
they
and
are.
see one star at 45 degrees. Well, that's just fucking ridiculous. You can't be in Florida, see a star at 45 degrees, and then the guy in Colorado sees the same star in the same direction at 45 degrees.
Oh, you're talking about
Obviously.
altitude. You're not talking about stellar position. You're talking about altitude. Yes, I'm aware the altitude would be different, but the position is the same relative to the stars.
Talking about the position of the stars. Talking about the
if I
position
may,
of the stars.
yeah,
Yes,
if I
you may.
may,
You may.
If you take from Colorado, Minnesota, whatever, photograph of Polaris and the surrounding constellations, and you take a photograph of Polaris from Florida of Polaris and its surrounding constellations, they will overlay identically.
I'm not doubting that. Not doubting that. I'm saying
Well, that was his
when
whole
you
that's
get
his
to
whole argument
Florida,
right there, isn't it?
Yep,
I'm
it
saying
is.
when you get to Florida, that whole scene could be shifted due to maybe some way the light's bending. You'd
The
still be
point
over there.
being,
You'd still be able to overlay it, but it's
the
all been
point.
shifted, right? Do you guys
Well,
agree with that or no?
the point being that the other stars relative to Polaris are in exactly the same angular distances away, whether photographed in
I'm
Minnesota
not
or
doubting that.
Florida.
I'm not doubting that. It's like
And
pulling
there's no
teeth with you
problem.
guys. It's literally like pulling teeth. This is unreal.
I mean, the feeling is mutual, so I don't know where we go from here. You're going to say it's a problem. I'm going to say it's not a problem. I'm going to
You're not even
demonstrate it
addressing what
wasn't
I'm
a
saying,
problem.
though. You're not even addressing what I'm saying. You don't. What problem? What's the problem?
No, you say that there's some sort of problem which would make this not a measurement. I'm saying there is
And
no
what have I
problem. We
said?
made a measurement and I have the results to prove it. So we're stuck.
We're not stuck. You're not hearing what I'm saying, and you're not addressing it. You can't even
No, I
steelman me
addressed it
right now.
several times.
Steelman me right now.
Steelman you? Okay, you were saying that the refraction being different in different locations would cause some sort of shift. That shift could be either in altitude, it could be in stellar position, it could be in planetary position. Is that not what you were saying?
Close. I'm saying when you go to your guy in Colorado, has a scene of the stars. You go to Florida, you have a scene of the stars. You can overlay them. However, when you get to Florida, due to maybe some way the light's bending, your whole scene could be shifted. It would still overlay, but your whole scene would be shifted due to some way the light's bending.
That wouldn't matter in terms of a parallax measurement referencing the background stars. Let's hypothetically say I'm going to give the worst case possible scenario that's outside the realm of possibility. Let's say I observe this particular constellation and a planet that's within that constellation, and it's directly above me. Then let's say Astronomy Life in Florida is looking completely in the opposite direction. So he's not 10 degrees off, he's not 20 degrees off, it's not even 30 degrees off. I'll give you 85 degrees off, which means the constellation is now in the fucking opposite part of the sky. I'll give you that much deviation. Is that a good steel man of your argument so far?
Well, I mean, we haven't even gotten anywhere through my argument. I'm on the very first part.
Just tell me if I'm on the right track.
Red, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Just
Red?
tell me if I'm on the right track.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know. I was mid sentence. You started talking. I don't know. I'm just wondering if you can hear me.
Yeah, I just wonder if you had an answer to my question.
When you, Red, can I just let me finish, please?
With the answer to my question, I will allow that. Please go ahead.
No, you don't allow anything to happen here. I don't know what you think you do here, but you don't allow anything.
You don't want to have a conversation. Be my guest.
It's not because you allow it. I promise you. But we haven't even gotten anywhere with my argument yet because we're still on the very first minute detail of it, which is that, and it was like pulling teeth to even get this far to admit that yes, the whole scene could be shifted out of place. So
you haven't answered my question yet?
I don't know what your question was.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were listening. Let's try this again. So if I have a constellation in one part of the sky in Colorado, and I completely swing it around to the other side of the sky, making the situation fucking horrible, would that not be a pretty robust steel man of the situation you wish to place me in to stress test my methodology?
Yeah, I already told you that was good. I answered that.
Good.
I answered that two questions. Reds, can you hear me talking?
Steel is already robust.
I answered that
Steel's
two
very
questions
robust. Thank
ago
you.
when you asked. Red, can you hear me?
Yeah, Snacks already answered for you. He said yes, the steel man is robust. That's all I needed.
I answered that. Okay, thanks. I answered that 2 times ago. I told you, yeah, that's a good steel man.
Excellent.
So maybe you're the one. Maybe you're the one that's not listening. You're too busy interrupting me every time and not listening, I think.
Cool.
Also, if you can make your, I've asked you multiple times today, if you can make your responses a little bit shorter, that would make it easier for people to, remember all of the stuff and address all of the points you're saying and stuff. So,
and I hope for the sake of this conversation, you follow your own guidance there. Just say, yes, that is a robust steel man. You may continue. I will. Thank you very much. So anyway, since that is a robust steel man of the conversation,
I didn't say that. Though. You're misquoting me.
What'd you say, Snacks?
It's more like redundant to call steel robust.
Oh, redundant to call steel robust. My apology. My apology, Snacks. I owe you a Starbucks coffee.
You got it. It's all right. Please continue.
Large mocha frap, no whip, no sugar like last time? Excellent. Anyway, so I'm going to move the constellation to the other side. That would not matter because we're using the relative position of the stars. So I get that measurement and I say, hey, relative to these stars, if we overlap it, we know that these stars are a particular number of pixels across or pixels away from each other. That has not changed between the two situations, correct? So if that has not changed within the two situations, I can say, okay, given that that has not changed within the two situations, and I can overlap them perfectly without any problems whatsoever, I can see what is the movement within that constellation, within that space. I still get a measurement, even if it's on the exact opposite side of the sky. Of course, it wasn't in reality, but that's a steel man of your position.
Okay, do you have this overlay? Can we see this overlay, please? I'd love to see it.
I just showed it. Let me screen share.
Thank you.
Find the two images. All right, screen sharing. Can you guys see that?
No, I don't see your screen share.
It's not showing?
Well, now that you've started, I see it now.
It was started before. Well, whatever. Anyway, so let me go forward. You're going to see a diagram. It's going to be after this diagram. I'm just tired of skipping through the lines. Just let it play through. It'll show up eventually. There's the two images. Okay, so this image right here was taken in Colorado. This image over here was taken in Florida. As you can see, there are diffraction spikes within the captured image. As mentioned previously, that was intentional. We were using a focus mask. And here you see 1, 2, 3 stars. That is the same as 1, 2, 3 stars. So I don't know if you can see it. It may not come through on the screen share all that well, but there's a star right there. That's this star right here. You can draw a line between this star, and then it kinks over to that star. And then this one, you can go from this star to this star, kinks over to that star. This star over here is the same as this star over here. And when we overlap using the coordinate data, so this is the coordinate data, yeah, that's where these green lines are showing. You see here, here, and here. And then we use the coordinate data of the other observation, which is here. Here you can see the stars in the background. And then we overlay them. Whoop, hang on, went too far. My bad. Let me go back. Come on. God, I fucking hate YouTube sometimes. There it is. So that's what happens when we overlay the coordinate data. So the coordinate data is solved using astrometry, that is via the background stars, and we can see the shift via the background stars. And when we do that shift, here's a zoomed in view, 0.00150.702 degrees parallax.
I mean, dude, are you done? I don't think I can like converse with you because your responses are just so long winded. Like it's hard for me not to interrupt. So I think I'm just gonna back out.
Sounds good. But that's what I have to do in order to not sacrifice context. Is a challenge.
Yeah, I
at
hear
times.
you. It's just tough to try to interact with that. So
Sounds good. Sorry, my answers can't be shoved into a fortune cookie.
no, I mean you can make it a little bit more concise, but whatever. If you can't, you can't. That's fine. I can't do it. So
Steel is not robust. That was bait. That was bait, by the way. It did not work.
That's why it's the steel man and not the straw man or the bamboo man. Say it's already the steel man or titanium man. You could go chrome moly plated.
What about carbitanium?
Let's Han Solo carbonite this guy.
What about titanium?
Carbitanium was actually utilized by Pagani, but they only did that because they're fucking crazy.
Can you just give us the moral of the story, dude?
The moral of the story is that if you really want to measure the distance to the sun, you can do so, but it is kind of a pain in the ass, I will accept. It does require access to really expensive equipment, but what you could do if you don't have the money for that equipment is you can rent time on telescopes. There's this network called the iTelescope network, and you could probably get this done for a few $100, but the equipment is expensive. It is a chore. I did have to drive all the way to fucking Colorado to do this thing. It was a pain in the ass. I'm not going to lie. But if you wanted to, you could, and I would be happy to walk you through it. But you would have to find some way to gain access to these telescopes. And I think the only way that can be done for people that don't have that type of budget is to rent time.
Yeah, after you pay for it and Reds walks you through it, I'll walk you through all the assumptions that you need to make in order to come out with a distance with this non-measurement method here.
And then what we'll do afterwards is we'll take my methodology and Jeremy's objections and we'll put it in a scientific paper and we'll submit it to peer review and we'll see who has more support. I'll pay for that publication, by the way. People sending me friend requests. Jesus.
What's the process of submitting something to peer review? Like, how do you, like, is it like a website, or like how does one go about that?
I'm pretty sure you do it through journals, and the journal has to. Well, one, you submit it to the journal, and the journal says, "Hey, is this even worth publishing?" And I'm assuming, depending on the amount of money you're willing to spend, you can get through that pretty fairly easily, at least hopefully. And then after that, damn it, more friend requests. Jesus Christ. After that, you wait. You wait for people to look at it and go over the numbers. They're basically doing a check over on it, and then they'll publish back saying, yeah, this is pretty legit, or hey, you made some problems here, and then stuff like that. I'm imagining it's a lot more complicated than that, but that's at least the gist.
Thank you.
Or better yet, my video is already uploaded, so you could just make a response video. The peer review of YouTube. You seem like a cool dude.
You get a lot of men hitting
He's
you up
not cool.
on the
He's not
DMs.
cool.
What knocking you, Jeremy?
Hang on, Zion. What was that question again?
You get a lot of men hitting you up in the DMs.
Well, unfortunately, I had to tell them that my lover is actually a 90-year-old man, and they very disappointed to hear that I'm taken. They're also very, very disappointed to hear that we have special needs, and so we
Help me do the puzzle, please.
Well, you see, if I need an emergency medical team on standby, because sometimes when I'm having rough sex with my partner, his prostate falls out.
Oh yeah, you did tell me that before. I remember you saying.
Yes.
Guys, come on, Red. There could be kids listening.
I mean, there could be kids listening, and we want to talk about my sexuality. Okay.
He causes his partner to prolapse. That's kind of fucked up.
Guys, no. Let's move on from this.
This is why I realize this already, because I'm a very adept internet person. It's that Red, I cannot get, the more childish I get, he will probably one up me and left turn me in a way that I'm going to lose total control. And actually, it's going to only derail my fellow people from actually trying to talk. That makes sense?
It does. That does make sense.
I know what I'm talking about.
Not even a reach around.
You just gotta go deeper.
I can, but at what cost? At what cost? You know what I mean?
At what cost, man?
Dueling swords in this way is not appropriate.
Oh, that was great. Excellent.
I've seen some of our crew go up against you, and I was like, don't do it. You're just drunk. You only think you know what you're talking about. It's not good. It's not pretty.
Not good for anyone, man. I totally
For a
agree.
while. You've been doing this for a while. That's why.
No, you're on the right track. You are definitely on the right track. No notes.